My name is Ron Zimmerman. I'm the director of the Schmeeckle Reserve here at the University of Wisconsin at Stevens Point.
Just within walking distance from the university lies a section of land named Schmeeckle Reserve. This nature reserve is named after Fred Schmeeckle, who came to teach at the university in 1923 from a school in Nebraska. At the time, the university was called Stevens Point Normal School. Schmeeckle was set to teach agriculture, but thought it needed a conservation feature.
The destruction of forests, pollution of water, and misuse of wildlife areas are factors that started me thinking something should be done to educate people in the wise use of resources.
Schmeeckle got to see his need fulfilled at the start of the 1930s when he began teaching courses that led to the country's first conservation education major. That major is now the largest undergraduate natural resources program in the nation.
Well, 1979 was actually the first full year of operations for the Schmeeckle Reserve officially. The lake was excavated, and we hired staff in 1979. So I was the first director, and I started hiring staff members, but we were in a time of real budget crunches in the state of Wisconsin, just like we are now. And I had 6 full-time positions that I was trying to hire for, but the state system froze those positions, and in the end all I could hire was 1 half-time person. And that's pretty much what Schmeeckle was left with until about 10 years ago. Well, there were a lot of private properties around Schmeeckle. Schmeeckle started with only 127 acres. The lake area is 50 acres, so you can imagine it was only a little more than twice the size of the lake area. So one of the things that we wanted to do was to protect the boundaries and to buffer us against development. There were 2 houses up here where the visitor center is now. The old part of the visitor center was actually a ranch-style house owned by the Wojciech family, and they had 10 acres with it, and the Skaronskis lived next door with 10 acres. We wanted to buy those properties because they stretched all the way down to the north end of the lake. We didn't want those being developed as maybe a Walmart or something like that. So we found the federal funding grant of matching money to buy the properties. Then we had to negotiate with the landowners and purchase their property, make sure that they were compensated well enough to build a new house somewhere else. And so then we moved into the visitor center. I had a graduate student living here just to take care of the property, and then eventually what we did was we converted it with a crew of students because we had no budget, no money, and we converted it into a visitor center.
The visitor center at the reserve is an excellent location for those interested in what the reserve holds. Within its walls, it holds the Wisconsin Conservationists Hall of Fame, a museum about Wisconsin's history, and a browse shop filled with many outdoor-themed gifts. You might even find a few surprises here as well. Running through the reserve is Moses Creek. During the 1930s, the creek was ditched, which caused many water problems close by. It was during the 70s that the rain caused flooding near the creek and onto the campus of the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point. Now the creek is being rebuilt to improve the drainage, increase the diversity of wildlife and plants, improve the aquatic habitat, and to serve the community. Rebuilt in terms to the creek is that it is being reconstructed to its natural winding way. Along Moses Creek, approximately 17 acres of wetlands will be created, which will result in tree and soil removal to help the floodplain. To allow visitors access to the wetlands, A half-mile boardwalk trail was built. This trail also serves as part of the Green Circle Trail here in Stevens Point.
Someday, this area will serve as an island of green in the city of Stevens Point.
Wisconsin, being a northern state, is a proud producer of the four seasons. During the summer, you will find students from the university running or spending time on the water. The geese use this place as a stop on their way south, and the ducks spend their afternoon on the water here as well. As the trees transform into an array of color, the leaves fall, and the squirrels start to store food for winter. The snow falls and starts to fill the trails and cover signs that were once visible. Spring comes and the land starts to thaw. You can see the water making its way over rocks and sticks as its snow borders begin to melt.
Schmeeckle Reserve is just generally a great place just to take a walk, hang out with friends. I've gone on a ton of walks in the last 5 years with friends, just hanging out, talking, and taking jogs.
Schmeeckle Reserve has been wonderful throughout my college career. I love to relieve stress by going walking or running there.
Schmeeckle Reserve is a great place to just go on walks and go on runs. It's a good place for the community and for the campus to connect.
It's a good place for students to get out and learn about trees and just the overall environmental stuff, with the College of Natural Resources on campus. It's a great place to go out for classes and learn hands-on learning.
Yeah, the reserve is really it's an interface between the university campus and the community, and we don't think that we're more university than we are the community of Stevens Point, Central Wisconsin. We want everybody to use the place, and we want people to continue to feel that it's theirs. Even though we're state property, we're very much open to students and to the public. We've done surveys, particularly of our student body, and we found out that 99% of the students that use the reserve have really positive thoughts about it and are very supportive of what we do here.